Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Hello everyone. Welcome to another Sunday night live stream. Tonight is Sunday, December 15th. Happy holidays to those who are celebrating the holidays. Hopefully you're staying warm wherever it's cold. If you're somewhere where it's warm, well, frankly, I'm jealous. Today is day 406, I believe, of my fasting journey. Today, we're going to be talking about fasting throughout the holidays, how things have been going. Do you have an actual strategy in place when it comes to where you're at on your fasting journey, on your health and wellness journey? George, Lena, Brandy, Free Fasting, Abdi, Stephen, Jordan, Alina, hi, welcome. Ultimately, Melissa, hello, welcome, everyone. So I know that this is probably a very difficult time for a lot of people during the holidays, navigating through the holidays. I'm sure there are many of us who aren't even thinking about fasting at the moment, who aren't even thinking about eating healthier, taking care of ourselves, doing the things that maybe we should be doing health-wise. But I think the really big thing when it comes to that is we should always be taking care of ourselves every day. And it doesn't mean that we have to go crazy when it comes to fasting or eating chicken, broccoli, and rice 24/7, working out every single day. It has nothing to do with that. This is more in line with, hey, I know I need to take care of myself. I know that during the holidays, things will be more difficult than the rest of the year. And I do think it's more just about accepting the fact that the holidays are just a part of life. It's part of what your journey looks like. And I do think having a little more mindfulness when it comes to what is happening during that time instead of just saying, well, I don't want to do anything at all. I think it speaks volumes to who you can be as a person as you work into your health and wellness. Because, right, the way I look about this, the way I think about this is more about staying consistent. And you know how I feel about being consistent when it comes to what we do, but also being flexible. And I think that's really where it counts. When I talk about imperfect consistency, there's always this notion that we have to do things the perfect way, fast the perfect way, eat the perfect way, exercise the perfect way. You've heard me say this time and time again, especially if you've been here for a long time. If you've seen my journey in the last 406 days, which has been now well over a year, which is actually more than a year and a month. I'm probably 13 plus months into this. My journey has not been this upward trajectory or downward trajectory if you're looking at weight. It has gone up and down. I think the bigger point here is how long can you actually stay consistent and committed? How open are you to accepting imperfection instead of trying these? And I think with the end of the year coming, there's probably a lot of us who are just not thinking about taking care of ourselves until midnight hits on January 1st. And then what's the plan? To do something ridiculously difficult when maybe you could have taken the entire year to just start building better habits, better healthy habits. This is only something that a lot of us are going to be able to learn through experience. And that's why when I talk about building your fasting muscle and building your fasting experience, when people ask me, Jerome, how have you been able to do this? Fast for this long, not eat during certain time frames, eat better in this type of way, exercise this type of way. I'm not special by any means with what I do. I know there are a lot of people who might think that, which I'm flattered, but I do think the reason I've been so successful, the reason I believe I've been so successful weight wise and taking care of myself health wise, it isn't because I'm better than anyone else doing something particularly. It's the fact that I just keep showing up and I keep going no matter what happens. So let me just break into these stats right now. When I talk about 406 days, I'm talking about 58 weeks on my fasting journey. And let's not forget, right? This isn't just 58 weeks of fasting. This is 58 weeks of taking care of my health, my wellness, 58 weeks of not fasting just for long periods of time, but for short periods of time. This is 58 weeks of eating back-to-back days in a row. This is 58 weeks of working on the length of my refeeds, 58 weeks of trying to figure out my nutrition, 58 weeks of exercise, whether it's working on cardio, working on strength training, learning how to do something new, but also in a lot of ways, this is 58 weeks of working on my mental health, being better to myself, giving myself grace in the imperfections that I do. I have always been that person that has thrown away the day, that has wanted to start over. And here we are now, a year plus into it, and I haven't had those notions of starting over anymore. Why? Because I know that starting and stopping that way isn't really going to get me to where I want to be. In the last 406 days, I have completed 152 fasts, which means that for 254 days of the last 460 days on my 406 days of my journey, I have not eaten. My average fast has averaged, my average fast is averaged. Currently, I have been averaging a close to 58-hour fast over the last 406 days. A lot of you who know me from the very beginning of this knows that 58 hours was nowhere near my fasting time when I started, when I was fasting for 90 plus hours. My average refeed over the last 406 days has been about 6 hours. So for every 58 hours that I fast, on average, I will eat for around 6 hours. Fast for 58, refeed for 6. Now, this average that's in here, this is also compiled in here with my back-to-back days of eating, with going on a 6-day vacation, a 10-day vacation, a 13-day vacation. Some days I fasted for only 10 hours, 12 hours. Some other days I refed for 12 hours, refed for 14 hours, over 8, went over 5, 6, 7,000 calories. Had days where I didn't feel like showing up, but I did show up. And I did show that consistency. And that's pretty much why I'm in the place that I'm in today. A lot of where I'm at now is because of my own rules, because of my choices. I didn't follow what somebody told me to do. I didn't listen to someone who said, just eat healthy all day, every day. How dare you drink diet pop that has chemicals in it? Why would you eat processed foods? Why would you go out to eat? Because I wanted to, and I didn't want to restrict myself in that way because I know I can never live that perfect life. And by perfect, I mean, what is perfect really? Is it eating the best way, fasting the best way? I'm all about doing things in a consistent manner, but not in a perfect manner. Because what really counts is being able to just show up the day after. When you have a bad day, when you overeat, when you don't hit that fast that you intended to hit, what really matters is the action that precedes that. When we don't do things that we intend to do, many of us who are in here, and you know how I have been in the past, where I would throw the day away, where I would start over. That is how my past self, that is the action I would perform when I tell myself what I'm doing right now isn't good enough. I used to be that person that would say, "Well, there goes that fast. I didn't go fast 90 hours. I was only able to do 28. So let's just start over." But you know what? Before I start over, let me do all the shitty things that I'm used to doing before I do start over. And then sure enough, I'll binge. I won't work out. I won't take care of whatever I need to take care of. And then after that binge, I tell myself, okay, now I'm going to do it. And then that day comes, and most likely 9 times out of 10, here I am again trying to do the exact same thing of pushing as hard as I can, restricting myself as much as I can, only to ultimately not accomplish that and say, well, what's the point? Let's just start over. I binge. By then, my weight is already probably going up even worse. I'm in a really bad headspace because instead of just accepting imperfection, here I am always trying to pursue perfection. I'm not accepting all of my other wins. Instead, I'm just throwing everything away because I feel like it's always good to have a fresh start. And I think this is a really good conversation, especially with where we're at right now on December 15th. There are many of us who are just waiting for that fresh start. We're waiting for 2025. We don't want to think about the last 2 weeks of December when it comes to our health. But what differentiates these last 2 weeks of December versus the first 2 weeks of January? What differentiates that? Nothing. They're still the same days. It's still time that passes by. Honestly, it's time that you're wasting learning about yourself, growing into a better person, building better habits. At the end of the day, I do feel like what you and I are trying to achieve is to pick up better habits. If you think about the things that you do, and there are things that you do that you know you can do better, whether it's sleeping better, whether it's taking care of yourself better, whether it's being better about cleaning your apartment, whatever it might be. A lot of that is because it's based out of habit. and the habits that you perform, you're going to wait until January 1st to start working on a better habit, when you know that if you started working on better habits today, you're already 2 weeks ahead of the game. Abdi with a $5 super chat. Abdi, thank you so much for the support. As always, it's always great to see you. Hey, Jerome, thanks for keeping us focused on the goal. You're very welcome. And honestly, Abdi, the way I look at that is, for those that are here, especially in the middle of December, when the holidays are upon us and we're probably not eating the best, I commend all of you for being here and saying, hey, this is still important to me. Hey, my health, my wellness is still important to me. I say this to all of you here because if you look at consistency in general, think about how often I am here on Sundays to show up. I don't think I have missed a Sunday that I didn't announce. I have come here every single Sunday, even on Sundays I didn't want to be here. Even last Sunday, after I came back from vacation and I gained 13 pounds, I was still here. I continued to show up because that is important to me. That consistency is important to me. That is also me no longer giving power to the scale. What do I mean by that? For many of us, when we step on the scale and you see that number go up, we feel embarrassed. We feel ashamed. We feel like we don't want to show up. We feel like, I don't want to look like this right now. I don't want to be in front of people. But I am trying as hard as I can to no longer give the scale that kind of power. That is also me telling myself that the number on the scale does not value who I am as a person. You hear me say that at the end of every stream. But I do that. I show up every Sunday. I post videos every single time. I show up to all my coaching sessions because I think it's important for me to show up in that way, because I am no longer giving power to a number on the scale. I am no longer giving power to if I had an extra day of eating. No longer am I saying to myself, I should be ashamed of that. I am no longer giving myself guilt in that way. And I think, to me, that's a big change. And why? Why am I here now instead of there, from what I have been used to doing for years, for decades? It's because I'm being consistent about it. I'm learning from myself every single day. So instead of, think about this, 406 days of consistency, right? Not perfect, but consistent. This is 406 days of showing up every single day. So then there are no gaps in between. Every day is a learning day for me. Every day is a growing opportunity for me. Every day is me trying to put myself out of my comfort zone and tell myself, no, you got to show up. You got to do what you got to do. Brandy with a $10 super chat. Brandy, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. Hi, Jerome. Thank you for continuing to show up. You're very welcome. I appreciate that. I'm navigating my new norm day by day. I'm doing 36-hour fast. Congratulations on that. It's been 3 weeks. Has it been pretty consistent, Brandy? I'm kind of curious. I'll keep going. Blessings to you. Cheers to imperfect consistency. And I asked that question, Brandy, because what I'm hoping for is, sure, if you've done 36-hour fasts for the last 3 weeks consistently, that's amazing. But at the same time, if you have had difficulties, but you've managed to just continue, just hit the timer, refeed, hit the timer, go again, learn from your experiences. This is how you build that fasting experience. This is how you build that fasting muscle. Yeah, you're saying it has. I love that for you, Brandy. So please keep going. I'm glad that you're doing it right. It's been 3 weeks, so it looks like you started this right after Thanksgiving, is my guess. Not waiting until after the new year. So I'm glad to see that. I appreciate you being here and sharing that with us. I've been continuing to hit the timer, is what Brandy says. Keep going. Keep going. Brandy, thank you again so much for the support. I appreciate the donation. Thank you. And before I continue, another $5 super chat from Unlimited Fishing. new autophagy member here. Actually, I think I saw you post this recently. Longtime follower, glad to see you. Excited to be part of the community. Down from 360 to 317 on rolling 90s. Congratulations, Unlimited Fishing. Thank you so much for the support. Appreciate you being here. I will get you access to the spreadsheet a little later. I did see the email. I just haven't had a chance. And I'm trying to find where are my stickers? Sorry, my stickers are like in a pile of pens here. Please, for anyone who is an autophagy member, you have this emoji. Can we throw some F's up for Unlimited Fishing? Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. Thank you. So let's go ahead and, well, let me ask you this. As I'm talking about imperfect consistency, as I'm talking about making sure that you're here to show up, I want people to remember, right? This is also a live stream, not just for me to share where I'm at and what I'm doing, but at the same time to let all of you understand that this is a place for you to be accountable as well. That's why I hold these live streams. That's why this is a safe space for all of us to talk about where we're at, what we're doing, how we're doing, whether we're doing well, whether we're having some troubles. Please feel free to share that in the chat here. Talk to other people, ask questions. Yes, I will answer questions. I always want to field those, but I won't be able to do that right now. You can hold your questions till later. But if you just want to ask a general question, chat is very supportive. There are a lot of people here who have a lot of fasting experience under their belt. So please feel free to talk and chat with others, support each other in what you're doing. As I talk about accountability and the 58 weeks of me being on my journey, the question that I have for you that I ask every single week is, are you here right now because you need motivation, because you need inspiration? And if you do, that's great. But the following question for you is, if you're here for that, are you here because you're waiting till Monday? Did you tell yourself, I'm going to catch this live stream, Jerome's going to motivate me, and at midnight tonight, I'm going to start on Monday? And maybe you even told yourself that earlier this weekend on Thursday or Friday and said, you know what? Forget this weekend. I'm just going to eat what I want and not do the things that I'm supposed to do. I'm going to catch Jerome Sunday night, and then I'm going to start on Monday. The difficult thing about this is I have been stuck in this space for a long time, where I would always tell myself I would wait, I would start, I would have a fresh slate on Monday. Start on Monday, start on Monday, start on Monday, wait till Monday. Just like this is no different than saying I'm going to start on the new year. I'm going to start on January 1st. That's when I'm going to get my shit together. And if you think about it, how many times have you done that? How many times have you put yourself in this position that you tell yourself, I'm going to start then? I'm going to start after such and such date, after I come back from vacation, after I come back from my cruise, after my birthday. Birthdays are a big one too. I think a lot of us love starting on our birthdays because that's when it really feels like a fresh slate. But think about this. Have you told yourself, I'm going to start on my birthday? But then have you also told yourself, I'm going to start on Monday? But then have you also told yourself, I'm going to start when I come back from vacation? But have you also told yourself, I'm going to start when the new year hits? But have you also told yourself, I'm going to start on the first of the month? Do you see where I'm going with this? If this is a repetitive thing that you've been doing, if you say this to yourself time after time after time after time, don't you think that maybe the next step you should be taking here is to just start and not stop? And instead of saying, not even instead of saying, but thinking about why you keep restarting. That's the real question. Why are you restarting? Why are you telling yourself I'm going to wait till Monday? Why are you telling yourself I'm going to wait till the new year? I'm going to wait until my birthday hits. I'm going to wait until I come back from vacation. Why are you telling yourself that? Are you telling yourself that because you aren't able to do things perfectly? You're thinking black and white, you're thinking all or nothing. And then every time you do decide to start or restart, it's because you aren't doing that perfect thing that you want to do. Again, I say this because I have personally been through it. I have personally been that person. I have been that person that has done that time and time again. And I sit here talking to you now at 44 years old, and I have literally gone through that cycle for 40 plus years. If you're younger than me, even if you're older than me, but if you're younger than me, you can get out of this cycle earlier than I have. Do not let this all or nothing thinking consume you. Do not let the number on the scale consume you. There are also so many of us that step on the scale, see the number on the scale, and then tell ourselves, I don't like that number. I'm going to go binge. I'm not going to take care of myself. I'm going to eat this way. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. But the real question is, are you doing that because of the number? Or are you really just doing that because you're giving yourself an excuse to eat? We all know that the scale is a bunch of bullshit. Just like I talked about how I gained 13 pounds after eating 13 days in a row on my past vacation, and then losing 11 of those pounds in a 55-hour fast. We all know that I didn't gain all of that weight in fat, and I didn't lose 11 pounds of fat in 55 hours. Scale bullshit. Don't buy into it. Yes, use it as a data point. Yes, it still has value in what it is currently, whatever you're weighing, but probably a lot of water retention. But don't let the scale, don't let these excuses, do not continue making excuses for yourself to start over, because that's what I was really good at. I was the king of doing that. I would give myself any reason to stop fasting because I did not want to do this perfect thing because it was too difficult. Imagine if I came back from Japan last week and I showed up on the live stream and I said, hi, everyone. Welcome to day one. My name is Jerome. I'm going to start fasting. This is my plan. No, that's ridiculous. Instead, I said today was day 399. I believe it was 7 days ago. I'm just trying to get people out of that mindset. I want people to stop cycling or being in that vicious cycle of stopping and starting over, and instead accepting where they're at today and tell themselves, hey, this is day whatever for me. I get it. I know what it's like to want to start over. I know what it's like to want a fresh start, a fresh slate, but it doesn't have to be that way. Honestly, it's never had to be that way. I think for anybody who is watching this, who's telling themselves, I'm going to start on Monday, if this is the first time you have ever done that, that's fair. I have no qualms when you tell yourself, I'm going to start Monday, but you've never done that before. Now, most of us have probably told ourselves that many times. And if you are that person, it has to end. Please do not keep yourself in the cycle of starting over and over and over when you know there's no reason to do so. Ultimately, Melissa with a $10 super chat. Ultimately, Melissa, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate your support, committing to self-care, self-love. I love that for you. One of the things that has been so important to me, especially through therapy, Restart the clock timer is glued to my brain. There you go. Hit the timer, start again, hit the timer, start again, hit the timer, start again. Doesn't have to be a 90 because you said it's going to be a 90. Doesn't have to be a 65 because you said it has to be a 65. Accept the imperfection. Be okay with that. Be okay with moving on. I can keep fasting or restart the clock. Exactly. As simple as that. Just finished 14 days of ADF with imperfect consistency. Melissa, congratulations to you. Thank you, Jerome. No, thank you for sharing your story as well. Thank you all for those who have shared their story and where they're at and the progress that they've gotten. I love that for you. Please keep going. That's exactly what this community is here for. Okay. I was talking about vacation. I want to share a little bit about vacation because I didn't get to share this with you all last time. If I can find that slide. Did I not make that slide? Oh no, I thought I had that slide. Oh, I do. Okay. Let me go ahead and share this with you all here. Okay. I have gone on a number of vacations in the last 406 days. There are 4 of them, to be exact. This also shows imperfect consistency. Because think about this. Had I restarted on every single vacation after my vacation ended and I restarted, would have been silly. Would have been a little, maybe for lack of a better word, crazy to keep coming on here and say, welcome to day one, welcome to day one, welcome to day one, welcome to day one after every vacation. Instead, I told myself, nope, I will still continue to hit the timer during vacation, even if it's a 10-hour fast. I know there are so many of you that watch this who say, but it's only a 10-hour fast. That doesn't count. Yeah, it does. Sure, it does. Why wouldn't it? When I shared that I am 58 hours average on average fasting, that is 58 hours of eating back-to-back days still on average, of having short fasts, of having long refeeds. All of the time counts. All of it counts. I don't throw any of it away. And this is what I'm trying to teach you all. Do not throw these days away. Do not throw these moments away. The days that I've had on vacation are learning moments for me. As critical as some people might be by the way I eat or the way I spend my vacation, that's on me. No one else has control over that but me. People can comment and be critical about it, but it's my vacation. It's my experience. I didn't fast for 90 hours because someone told me to fast for 90 hours. I did it because it was what worked for me. It's what I came up with. I continued rolling fast because it's what worked for me. I ate 6,000 calories because it's what worked for me. I did it because it was sustainable. It was something that I could be consistent about. And this is why I think it's so important to talk about imperfect consistency, because this should be just as important for you. I can never tell you how to fast, how to eat, how to exercise. I can always guide. I can always recommend. I can even try to push to get you to be on the healthier side. But ultimately, if that is not something you want to do, I can't force you to get there, because that is not how you're going to be able to do something sustainable. So let me just share this with you just so you understand how my last couple vacations were, or the only 4 vacations I've had since I started my journey. The first one was back in April. So what is that, 8 months ago? The very first vacation I had after I hit my goal weight, I did a 10-day vacation. I went from 138 to 159.2. I gained 21.2 pounds off a 10-day vacation. The second vacation came 3 months later. Actually, it was probably less than 3 months because I believe this was the 1st of July. The second vacation was a 6-day vacation only. I went from 135 to 155.6. I gained just about the same amount of weight in less amount of days. Now, you have to remember, these first 2 vacations, the very first vacation, I was doing 90-hour fasts. The second vacation, I was doing 65-hour fasts. And then you'll see here, Just about a month and a half later, I took another vacation. When this says vacation number 3, this was a different vacation. This was a staycation. This is when I was experiencing burnout. This is when I was struggling, my first real struggle of doing consistent fasts. But I decided that I would take a staycation because I felt like I was getting burnt out. On vacation number 3, it was a 6-day vacation again. I gained another 19 pounds. I went from 141 to 160. By this time, I was no longer doing 90-hour fasts, and I wasn't even doing 65-hour fasts. For the most part, during this time of the year, during the summer, the late summer or summer and early fall, I was doing 42-hour fasts. So I was doing something completely different. Look at the evolution of what I've been doing. I was doing 90-hour fasts, 100 and something hour fasts, and then I had tapered it down to 65, and then I had tapered it down to alternating 65s and 42s. And then I tapered it all the way down to 42s. And that is when I felt my first real struggle, when I started to feel burnout from the work I was doing and the fasting I was doing, even though I was fasting for less. But I have been learning the entire time. I cannot speak about the experience of doing 42s, 65s, and 90s without doing them the way I've been doing them. That's why this is a journey. That's why it's a never-ending journey, because I'm still trying to figure this shit out every single day. And if you look at where I'm at right now, when it comes to my past vacation, which was just most recently in Japan, it was a 13-day fast. I went from 147 to 160. I gained 12.6 pounds. I lost 10.6 pounds in a 55-hour fast. This was the longest vacation I've had so far with the lowest amount of weight gained. Yes, I was at a higher weight at this point, but you also have to remember this is when I was doing very short fasts. This is when I was experiencing burnout, so the weight fluctuated a bit. It was a little higher than where it typically was. Now, the reason I share all of this is because I want you to understand that these vacations that I take, no matter the weight gain, 20 pounds, no matter how many days I've been on vacation, 6 days, 10 days, or 13 days, no matter how many calories I ate, I have always bounced back. I have always found myself back. I didn't throw away the day. I didn't stop being imperfectly consistent. I just kept going. This fits right in with the holidays, and I'm going to talk about that a little later. But at the same time, this past vacation that I had, and I talked about this last week, this was, for me, health-wise, eating-wise, it was probably the cleanest vacation I've ever had. Yes, I ate almost 2 weeks in a row, but my choices of eating and even the fasting that I did, even though I didn't fast for multiple days, I skipped breakfast most of my vacation time, and I felt pretty good about it. I felt pretty good about the choices that I made and the food that I ate. And I know somebody left a comment on one of my vlogs that said I was too hard on myself during vacation, that I should have eaten more. But I don't even feel like it was like that at all. I don't feel like I was hard on myself. I was just enjoying myself, and I was just making better decisions. Yes, when I went to the konbini to get snacks at the 7-Eleven in Japan, I didn't have to get protein bars, but I wanted to. I knew that I didn't have to get 3 baked goods of red bean desserts. I knew that I didn't have to buy 3 egg salad sandwiches. That would have been different if I went to Japan in April versus what I did now. And that's only because the mindset has changed. It's shifted. And I can't even really explain why. It just has. Just like when you watch me refeed. My refeeds today are nothing like my refeeds last year. They're not. They're just not. They're different. I don't know why. I think there's something in my brain that says, hey, you don't have to eat shitty all the time, 24/7. You can still eat whatever you want, right? I don't restrict myself in any way. And maybe because of that, because it feels so freeing that I no longer have any kinds of restrictions on me, that now I'm just making different choices. And there's nothing wrong with that. And this also goes to say that anyone who's working on themselves right now, you don't have to make perfect choices either. Be okay with what you're doing. But if you can keep showing up every day and learning about what you're doing, maybe eventually you will start making different choices. But how are you going to know unless you do it? How are you going to know if you just keep throwing away the day and then starting up again a week later or a month later, or like me, 2.5 years later? How are you going to learn? I didn't learn anything from the 2.5 years I was gone from YouTube. The only thing I learned was to be depressed and to lock myself in my apartment and to cut off communication from everyone. That's the only thing I learned. And I learned how it destroyed relationships and friendships. And it was a really bad time for me. And that's something I never want to experience again. And this is also why I show up every single day, because I cannot be that person anymore. EJ with a $5 super chat. Is that Australian? Is that what the A is for? I believe it is. EJ, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. I'm struggling this time of year. I don't want to throw, oh, it is. Yes, EJ, I know you. We've talked. That's right. EJ, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. I'm struggling this time of year. I don't want to throw the past 5 months of good work away over 2 weeks of gluttony. Please keep posting. And that is my plan, is to continue doing that. And just like I said, right, for so many of us, this time of year is a very difficult time because we're just so used to being with friends, being with family, and there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. It should be a time of the year where we get to enjoy that type of thing. But here's the thing too, right? When you talk about 2 weeks, it also, and this isn't to criticize what your 2 weeks were like. This is also just maybe for future reference for anyone here too. For example, my 2 weeks in Japan, it didn't have to be crazy every single day. Just because I had one crazy day doesn't mean the next day has to be crazy either. It also doesn't mean that, okay, maybe what that means is I ate super late, so I'm going to push the next day and eat a little later or hold back a little bit. Again, not a criticism, just things to start thinking about as you continue your journey with what you're doing. And right, you've had 5 good months here. You have put progress. You've put imperfect consistency down to the point where you know that if you get back on it, those 2 weeks aren't going to mean anything. It's a small blip versus 5 months, right? Think about that. 5 months of good, 2 weeks of, whatever. And then think about another 5 months after that. You have 10 good months, 2 weeks is nothing. I look at my 4 vacations, which added up to what? I think it was about 35 days, right? I've had 35 days worth of vacation or so out of 406 days. It's nothing. It's minuscule in the grand scheme of things. So EJ, keep going. I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Thank you so much. Wanda also with a $10 super chat. Wanda, it's so nice to see you as always. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the donation. Hey there. Hi, Wanda. I almost missed your live. Well, I'm glad you're here. Have to work in the AM. 10 hours into a 48-hour fast. Let's go. Imperfect consistency is still working for me, and that's what it's about. Wanda, thank you so much for the support. Keep going. Good luck on the 48. You'll have to keep us posted. Thank you for coming, even though I know you have to work in the morning. Hopefully it isn't too late where you're at, or that you don't have to wake up too early, even if you're watching this right now. So Wanda, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Let me go back and fit check. Okay. I'm looking at my notes to see what's next here. Before I continue, Anthony with a $5 super chat. Anthony Wong with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I did 3 months of rolling 48s and lost about 35 pounds. Went back into my old eating habits and have regained 15 back and find it hard to start again. Okay, so let's talk about this because this is a very common thing here. So first of all, Anthony, congratulations on being able to do rolling 48s and lose 35 pounds in 3 months. That's great. That's amazing. You said it yourself. You went back into your old eating habits. A couple of things here to talk about is yes, okay, you regained 15 pounds of the 35. It's probably not the best feeling in the world, but here you are right now having this conversation instead of waiting for the new year. So kudos to you for doing that, but also respect to you for being honest and transparent about it and sharing it with other people here. I know, and you should know that you are not the only person who has gone through this before, right? I have gone through this personally many times. I did this when I dropped down and lost 95 pounds and then gained it all back and then lost it all again. So, right, many of us have been in this situation, but you're in this place now where, okay, you're finding it hard to start again. So maybe the question I have for you, again, thank you for the super chat, but I'm wondering where you're at right now. If you're having trouble doing rolling 48s, my question to you is, have you at least been hitting a timer recently? Have you shown a week of consistency? Have you shown 2 weeks of consistency, right? Even if you aren't doing rolling 48s, are you doing 16s? Are you doing 23s? Are you being mindful of your refeed lengths? Are you making better choices when it comes to the food that you're eating? Are you doing any type of cardio or strength training? Or even another question is, are you being accountable in some type of form or fashion? Are you showing up for someone in that type of way? Because maybe that's what you need to make sure that you are on your game. You know what I mean? Because if you're doing this by yourself, just like many people here might be watching this, if you are struggling and you find yourself in a very similar situation, ask yourself, are you showing accountability in some type of way? Are you showing up for someone if showing up for yourself isn't enough? I only ask these questions because sometimes that's what some of us need. Sometimes the missing piece is that accountability and finding that accountability with someone, or, right? That's why I tell people to post in the chat. I tell people to post in the comments. Whatever might be helpful for you to show that accountability can be really, really important. So you'll have to keep us posted, Anthony. I'm kind of curious if you're able to get back into the swing of things, because I know you can, and I know you will, just like many of us do. So please keep going. You'll have to keep us posted with everything that's going on. Okay. It is time for Fit Check. If you're not familiar with what Fit Check is, it is where I will now stand back here and show you where I'm at currently physique wise. It is sometimes I feel okay about it, sometimes I don't. It also depends on how bloated I feel. I'll let you know where I'm at right now, though, just FYI, fasting wise. I am currently 45 hours and 13 minutes fasted. I am pushing another 65-hour fast. When I finish my 65-hour fast tomorrow, so yes, I'm not eating today again. When I push another fast tomorrow, I will be breaking, and then that will complete my third 65-hour fast in a row after eating 13 days in a row. This also goes to show that even though I had a 13-day vacation, I was able to hop back onto a 65-hour fast. And then after completing that 65-hour fast, I did another one. And then I'm currently on my third one. And for those who might not be aware, my goal is to do 65-hour fasts consecutively for this month. So by the time I finish by the end of the month, I will have done 8 of them in a row. Just FYI. So for many of you who feel like they're having a difficult time, that they feel alone, that why do I have to do this? Hi, I'm doing 8 65-hour fasts in a row, just FYI, and I'm working on my third one right now. Before I do Fit Check, there are a couple other super chats in here. Mark with the $10 super chat. Mark, so nice to see you as always. Thank you so much for the support. Hey, Jerome, checking in. Thank you for checking in. Definitely struggling, but still showing. I love that for you, Mark. I know things have been tough. I appreciate you being here, feeling down, but silver lining is I still lost a good amount of weight this year and I'm better now than months ago. And yes, definitely a positive. I want you to keep that positive attitude as hard as things might be at the moment. I know you and we get to talk again soon. So maybe we'll just have a catch up and see where you're at and see if there's anything we can do to find new W's for you. I know that's something you and I have talked about are the W's. When I say W's, everyone else, I'm talking about wins. And maybe what this means right now is finding those other W's and making sure you can be consistent with them. So we'll talk about that. But Mark, thank you again so much for the support. As always, appreciate you so much. Sherry, also with a $5 super chat. Sherry, thank you. Nice to see you here as always. Thank you, Jerome, for all your inspiration. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your support. I shared you with a friend today and appreciate you. Love and light. Thank you so much, Sherry. Hopefully they find this helpful. They find it informative or motivating or inspiring, but I appreciate your support as well. Thank you for being here. Thank you for always showing up too. Appreciate you. So let's do fit check. Fit check is where I show you where I'm at physique wise. I know I'm currently in a 45, right? Was it a 45-hour fast? 45 hours. Oops. 45 hours and 16 minutes. I think I weighed in today at 150 point something. Tomorrow I should be back in the like high 140s. My goal by the end of, not the end of this month, but by January 6th, because right now I shared this a long time ago, but I'm on a long-term goal to get to a new weight by my second year of my journey, by November 6th, 2025. So every 6th of the month, my goal is to get to a new weight. The 6th of February or the 6th of this January, my goal is to get to 142. I don't know if I'm going to get down that low by then. If not, that's fine, right? Because I just keep pushing. And then March 6th will be a new weight. April 6th will be a new weight, so on and so forth. My plan, though, is to just keep pushing on. But let me show you where I'm currently at 150 pounds. Before I get there, yes, I'm wearing, I do tell people I currently wear a size, this is an extra large boys shirt. I'm also wearing size 14 pants that are boys. I buy boys shirts because I don't fit into adult clothes really as well anymore. Although the clothes in Japan, I've noticed, fit a lot better, but it's also because I'm short. I'm 5'3". So right now I'm 5'3". I weigh around 150 or in the high 140s. My plan is to get lower than that though. My plan is to really lean out, add muscle, but also lose excess body fat. So let me just kind of show you where I'm at the moment. I do want to show this just like I show every single time. So yes, I have been overweight my entire life, even as a child. I will just go through these really quick. I have never been someone that has been skinny until recently, although even calling myself skinny isn't something that I really call myself. I just feel like I'm at a better weight today than where I used to be. So even as a child, even in my teens, my early 20s, my 30s, I have always been overweight, obese, morbidly obese. And I have been now able to keep this weight off since March of 2024. I got down to 138 pounds March 22nd, I believe, or 139 point something. I did get down to 130. Anyway, so I've been able to keep this weight off, but also add muscle, rebuild my composition, my body composition. But let me just show you where I'm at. Okay, so boys, extra large, boys, sweatpants. The good thing about buying boys' clothes are that they're very cheap at the stores. This is all Target, but yes, this is where I'm at right now. Sidewise, right? Back, side. And that's currently where I'm at. Yes, I wear this compressed shirt underneath. This is a compressed shirt. Because yes, I do have loose skin. I don't have a ton of loose skin, but I do have it on my lower belly. That's where most of it is. I know I still have excess fat to lose. I did a DEXA scan back November 6th after my 1 year, I guess, anniversary of starting my journey. But I am very focused and dedicated on building muscle now and losing excess fat. I know I still have some excess fat on me. I know there are places where I can lean out more. I also have loose skin that I would love to hopefully gets better over time, but I also know I'm 44 and I know things don't stretch back like they used to. I mean, you guys have to remember, I used to weigh as heavy as 235. I used to be 100 pounds overweight when I was at my lowest. I do have loose skin here as well on my neck. This is one I talk about a lot. This is where I feel most insecure because it is the one that's visible. I mean, you can see it doesn't bounce back, right? I have loose skin up here too. I do have loose skin on my upper arms. You can see it right here, right? But I feel like this has been a lot better because I do focus a lot more on like lifting weights, right? Like I show this because like I do feel like building muscle, like I see it on my shoulders, right? Like I know I'm a lot more, I'm like here trying to flex. I know I'm a lot more defined than where I used to be. So lifting weights is really important to me. And my goal is to continue to build muscle and see if that helps the loose skin. So that's kind of where I'm at when it comes to fit check. Okay. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about the holidays. I want to take some time and share with you all the difficulties when it comes to holidays and how to navigate through that. And I'm trying to find my slides here when it comes to that. Okay. So for people in chat, for people who might watch this later on the live stream or who might watch this later on the replay, let me ask you, do you currently have a plan right now when it comes to the holidays? I think I asked this before when it came to Thanksgiving. I think some people had plans, but what about for Christmas? What about for New Year's? For Christmas and for New Year's, are you planning to fast on the holidays? Are you fasting around the holidays? Are you fasting right after the holiday ends? Yes, I do read all of these comments later. So I asked this question because I am genuinely curious about what your plan is. And I like hearing about what people plan on doing. But also, this is also a good opportunity for you to be accountable and share where you're at and what you're doing. And if staying on track is still important to you. When I first started my journey, I started my journey back on November 6th, 2023. It's 2024 now. I started my journey over a year ago, and I started it right at the beginning of November, right in the heart of the holidays. Okay. The first month when I started my journey, I was very strict. I was so hard on myself. And I told myself nothing was going to stop me from me getting through my fasts, from me getting to my goals. Before I get into it, I just noticed another super chat here from Omad Manny. Omad Manny, so nice to see you. Omad Manny with a $5 super chat. Omad Manny, how's it going? Another Chicagoan. Nice to see you. Just showing love. Appreciate that. How long do you plan to be on this particular journey? You mean the journey that I'm just on right now? This is my only journey at this point. This is my final journey. This is the journey that I tell people never ends. It's a never ending journey with what I'm doing. I look at this as a never ending journey because I will always be fasting. I will always be working on my nutrition and the way I eat. I will always be working on my exercise routine and what I do. And I will always be working on the mental part of it and being okay with myself and accepting myself for who I am. And right, I feel like all of us should always just be on one singular journey without having to start over, without having to say, I'm going to start on Monday, I'm going to start on the first of the year. I understand why many of us like to have a fresh slate and start over, but I know that I cannot afford to do that because the moment I say I'm going to start, for example, if I told myself I'm going to start, let's just say the 1st of January, right? If I told myself I'm going to start on January 1st, 2025, that means that for the next, today's December 15th. I know in my head, in my brain, what I would do if I told myself I'm going to start January 1st. I know what I would do then for the next 2 weeks is I would overeat, I would binge, I would not take care of the things I need to take care of. I probably would stop showing up work wise, coaching wise. I would not take care of myself the way I need to. That is why, for me, the journey is always a never ending one. My hope, OMAD Manny, is to even just say, hey, welcome to day 1,393. Welcome to day 4,503. How many years would 4,503 days be? That would be 12 years. If I said 4,503, then it would take another 11 years and maybe I'll still be running this YouTube channel by then. But that is kind of how I feel about it, OMAD Manny. So just FYI. Thank you again for the $5 super chat. Hopefully that was helpful when with that particular question. So yes, when it comes to the holidays, the first year around for me was very strict. I was so hard on myself. I was so strict about what I did. But a couple things here, right? I was also not, I don't regret it. I don't regret as hard as I went and as hard as I pushed, because for me, it was very motivating and it was something that I wanted to do. It was something that I wanted to do, not just for myself, but I did it because I had told all of you that I would. I made a promise to myself. I didn't necessarily make a promise to everyone on YouTube, but I believe on November 5th, when I live streamed, I said, I'm going to do this starting November 6th. And if I get there, I get there. And if I don't, I'm just going to keep going. I think that's the one thing that stuck with me, is that no matter what, I was going to keep going. And if you don't believe me, go watch my live stream on November 5th, because I did exactly that. So I'm just going to share a couple things from my own personal spreadsheet for anybody that I coach and I work with. I don't know if I had given everyone access to my spreadsheet, but you should know that if I have personally coached you and you don't have a copy of my spreadsheet, let me know and I will give it to you. So you know that you're not the only one that has to fill a spreadsheet out. I fill mine out every single day for the most part. I mean, and if I miss a day, of course, I will fill that in. So let me share with you what my holidays look like on my first year around. So let's just talk about Thanksgiving, because usually that's kind of when the holidays start. And I'm just going to share with you here where I was at during Thanksgiving of 2023. On the 18th of November, I had just completed a 96.5-hour fast. I was already down to under 200 pounds. I already had lost 17 or 18 pounds by then. So on 13, and you'll see that that's day 13. In 13 days, I had already lost 18 pounds. And then if you see day 18 was Thanksgiving. I didn't eat during Thanksgiving. I fasted on Thanksgiving. And if you actually look at this screenshot, I actually fasted for 163 hours during Thanksgiving. So for a lot of, or for anybody who might be thinking to themselves, why do I have to fast during the holidays? Why is it just me? Why is it, listen, I did this last year. I did a 163-hour fast during Thanksgiving. And right before that 163-hour fast, I did a 96.5-hour fast. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that you have to push this hard. I'm not saying that you have to do anything like this. I am just sharing with you my personal experience during the holidays last year. What about this year? I spent Thanksgiving in Japan. I was in Japan. I ate 13 days in a row. I enjoyed myself. I gave myself grace. This past Thanksgiving was nowhere like last Thanksgiving. Okay. This is also imperfect consistency. Yes, there are times when I push hard. I show you this 96.5 hour fast. I show you this 163-hour fast, but I have not done a 90-hour fast in months. I no longer do fasts for that long. Doesn't mean I won't ever do one in the future, but it's not something that I feel like I need to do at this point. So let's move into Christmas of last year. Last year during Christmas, if you look at this, on the 19th of December, I completed a 92.5 hour fast. And then on the 23rd of December, I completed another 92.5 hour fast. And then, yes, I also fasted during Christmas. I did not eat on Christmas Eve. I didn't eat on Christmas Day. I didn't even eat the day after Christmas. On the 27th is when I completed another 92-hour fast. That's what Christmas looked like for me. This Christmas, my plan this Christmas is to eat. I am doing 8 65-hour fasts for the rest of December, right? I broke on the 10th of December. I broke on the 13th of December. And then I am breaking tomorrow on the 16th. I'm going to break on the 19th. I'm going to break on the 22nd. And I'm going to break on the 25th. Yes, I planned this out. This is why I know how this is going. So I will be breaking on the 25th of December. I'll be eating on December versus what I did last year when I didn't eat during Christmas. And I was also doing 90-hour fasts last year versus what I'm doing today, which are just 65s. Push when you need to, pull back if you have to. You do not have to do the same things over and over and over. But one of the reasons that I feel like I am successful as well is because I planned this out. I strategize this. I don't think you have heard me at all say, maybe if I get through this 65-hour fast, I'm going to do this. If I can do this, then maybe I'll do this. If I decide to eat, you don't hear any of that from me, do you? I am literally telling you what I'm going to do, and I do it. Yes, there have been other times during the 406 days where I have said I was going to do this and I wasn't able to do that. And that is when I give myself grace. But I'm also coming into this very, very focused. When I say I'm going to do 8 65-hour fasts for the rest of December, I'm going to do 8 65-hour fasts for the rest of December. That is what I'm good at. I'm good at fasting. I'm okay at exercise. My diet is a lot better than what it used to be, but I'm not the best at that. But I am taking what I'm good at and just working on it and hammering down on it. So that is what the holidays look like for me last year. I just told you what it's going to look for me this year. And then if you look here for New Year's last year, I didn't even realize this until I looked at this. I didn't realize I did a 163-hour fast during Thanksgiving. And then if you look here on New Year's Eve, I ate on New Year's Eve. I completed an 89-hour and 47-minute fast. And then after New Year's Eve, I did a 141-hour fast. So I fasted for nearly, 5.5 days? Something like that. And then right after that 140-hour fast, I went right back into another 90-hour fast. I pushed really, really hard during that time. Nothing was going to stop me at that time to get to my goal weight. I was just very focused and determined at that time. This year, for New Year's, I'm also going to be fasting. So this will be 2 New Year's days in a row I'm going to be fasting, but I'm also going to eat on New Year's Eve. Obviously, there has been a change. I no longer do 90-hour fasts. I do 65-hour fasts. And then after, my guess is sometime in February, I'm going to go back to doing 42-hour fasts, probably alternating it with 65-hour fasts. Why? Because I know I don't need to push that hard. Obviously, if I wanted to just do 90-hour fasts right now, I could. But I don't want to do such long fasts at this point. I feel really comfortable doing 65s. They feel really sustainable for me. And then when I get back into doing 42s, that's going to feel even better. I'm just going to have to start controlling my calories so that I don't gain weight, because my goal is to still continuously lose weight for the rest of the year. OMAD Manny with a $2 super chat. OMAD Manny, thank you again for the support. What kind of liquids help during your fasts? So I've talked about this in length, but when it comes to what I drink, I keep it really simple. Well, so let me even start with this. During my fasts, I don't even take electrolytes at this point, but I also don't just drink water. I drink black iced coffee. I like that. I drink unsweetened tea, usually iced. I do drink a lot of 0-calorie drinks. By a lot, I don't mean like 5 cans a day. Sometimes it's not even any cans a day, but I will drink a Diet Pepsi. I'll drink a 0 sugar 7-Up. I'll drink a Diet Dr. Pepper, anything like that to help extend my fast. And if you're wondering, that is what I did to still lose 80 pounds in 5 months, less than 5 months back on day one. I was still drinking something like that. It's still something that I drink today. Do I feel bad about it? No. Do people call it cheating? Some people do. Do people call it dirty? Some people do. Do I care? No, I don't. Because for me, what matters is I get to keep the weight off. My blood work is good, which it has been. My blood work is all in the green, no issues. My doctor was very happy with my results, couldn't even believe that I got to where I was at, being a type 2 diabetic for over 20 years and still getting great numbers without taking any medication. So yeah, those are the liquids that I drink. Even when people ask me, well, Jerome, how much water do you drink? And I tell people, I don't count. I just drink when I'm thirsty. And I do. So I like to keep things very simple. The things that I am more focused on at the moment now is my refeeds and the macros I take in. I do make sure that my protein is up. I do make sure that my dietary fiber is up. Those are two things that are very important for me. At this point, they really help me with my satiety so that I stay full. So those are things that I pay a lot more attention about than I did in the past. And it doesn't mean that you have to, or anyone that's watching this, it doesn't mean that you have to either. You might have to just get to that point. Maybe right now, the most important thing is just getting your fast down. And if it's not even getting your fast down, it's getting your exercise routine down. And if it's not those, maybe it's all of those things, but maybe the more important thing is that you're consistent. A lot of the time, most of the time, when people are struggling, my question to them almost always right after is, have you been consistent? Have you showed consistency? Has there been consistency? If you want to do 72-hour fasts, fine. But have you showed consistency in hitting the timer? Have you shown me 2 weeks of doing something like doing OMAD or 16s or getting out the door and getting on a treadmill X amount of times a week? Right? For a lot of people, it isn't about doing these grand long fasts, exercising 15, 20,000 steps a day. But the real question is, have you been consistent? Have you shown consistency in what you're doing? And I do think those are the things that are pretty important to me. Okay, everyone, I know that's hopefully that's a little helpful when it comes to the holidays. I know it's a very difficult time for many of us, but hopefully this is also eye-opening to let you know that yes, if you want to push during the holidays, go ahead and do it. I've shown you that I've done it. And not only have I done it, but I did it during Thanksgiving, did a 163-hour fast. I did it on New Year's when I did a 140-hour fast. And what did I do in between all of those times? 90-hour fast, 90-hour fast, 90-hour fast, 90-hour fast. So yes, if you want to push by all means, go ahead. But then also look at what I'm doing right now. I took a 2-week vacation out of the country. I'm going to eat on Christmas Day. I'm going to eat on New Year's, but I'm still fasting in between that time. I'm giving myself grace, but still giving myself discipline where I need it. It doesn't mean that you have to do 65-hour fasts. Maybe your discipline right now just means doing 23-hour fasts, doing 16-hour fasts, doing 36-hour fasts. But the most important part is doing it consistently. And it also doesn't mean that you have to do 36, 36, 36, 36. It doesn't mean that you have to do 16 first, then 20, then 23, then 36, then 48. Maybe it means doing a 36, then a couple 16s, and then another 36, and then maybe a 23, and then, right? What I'm saying is practice imperfect consistency. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. Imperfect consistency. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. If I say it over and over and over, will it stick? Will that make more sense? It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be consistent. Okay. At this point, I will take questions. Please, if you have questions, ask. I will try to answer as much as I can. You can ask them now. I will answer what I can at this point. But as I'm waiting for questions to come in, I want to remind people that yes, I do offer coaching. I do offer one-on-one coaching. If you check the link in the description, you can find a link to get one-on-one coaching with me. It isn't this, I don't have coaching to give you anything special or secret. Everything that I share here is pretty much everything that we talk about on a one-on-one basis, but a lot of this now becomes an accountability thing. I give you a spreadsheet that I get to see, that we get to work on together, that I get to see how you're doing, that I make sure you're accountable when it comes to that. If you're looking for any type of coaching when it comes to fasting or weight loss or accountability, or even when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to working out, yes, I'm not an expert by any means at some of these things, but I do have experience behind it. I have now gone through it time and time again. So please, if that's something that I can help you out with, take a look at the link, sign up for a session, and I'd be happy to work something out with you. My goal with anyone I work with is to get them pretty much to hit the goals that they need to get to. So please, if I can help you in that way, let me know. I'd love to be able to work with you. At the same time, if you aren't looking for something that's so one-on-one, there is also a link in the description to join the Finally Fasting fam. There is an autophagy group. There's an autophagy tier where we work as a community. We have a communal spreadsheet. We show accountability in that way. You get to share your goals. You can come on camera if you want. You can talk with others in chat. It's pretty similar to a coaching session, but think of it with a smaller group of people. So if that's something you're interested in, please take a look. Or if you just want to support me, I would appreciate the support as well. You can take a look at in joining the Finally Fasting fam that way. Either way, I appreciate you all. So thank you so much. So let me go ahead. I will answer any questions if there are any. If there aren't any, then I can call it a night. But let me see here. Jose says, do you notice loss of muscle strength in rolling fasts? So this, not that this question gets asked, but more so that people comment and say, okay, you might have lost all this weight, but you lost all your muscle. You lost all the and I'll tell you right now, Jose, for me, I did a DEXA scan, right? If you're not familiar with what a DEXA scan is, it's when they measure the fat and the muscle on you, I guess, like for your whole body. And if you're curious about that, I did a DEXA scan on November 6th, and I did a live stream on that day to talk about my DEXA scan. But FYI, during that DEXA scan, I was 145 pounds. If I can remember correctly, when I was 145 pounds on that DEXA scan, after doing rolling fasts after rolling fasts after rolling fasts, they had me at 29 pounds of muscle, or 29 pounds of fat. Remember, I was 145 pounds. They got me at 29 pounds of fat and 111 pounds of muscle. So I know the question isn't about muscle per se, but more strength. But I just want to point out that I did not lose muscle during this time. In fact, I probably gained muscle. I know where I'm at now, my body composition. I am a lot more muscular than I have been when I initially lost that weight, and I am still fasting at this point. When it comes to muscle strength, no. Actually, I'm hitting new PRs, meaning I'm hitting new personal bests, new personal records when I'm lifting. Yes, if I am trying to like today, right? I'm 45 hours fasted. I bench pressed this morning, right? I will do deadlifts. I will do squats. I will do all of the compound exercises while fasted. I have been doing this now for 406 days. I am still strength training, but I will say this. Yes, I have lifted when I was doing 100 and something hour fasts, when I was doing 90-hour fasts, but now that I am really, really paying attention to my strength, if I am trying to lift weights on the days where I'm fasting for 65 hours, I cannot lift as heavy as I normally do because I am fasted. My strength is just not the same. So when I do lift, I lift literally the day after I refeed and then up to probably around 48 hours after I refeed. I take my rest days on the days I'm doing my 65-hour fasts. When I do my 42-hour fasts, I will probably just lift every single day, the day after I refeed. That is when I have the most strength. But in terms of losing muscle or in terms of losing muscle mass, not a thing. In terms of strength, I am still continuing to lift heavier every single time. My goal by the end of year 2, my goal by November 2025, November 6, 2025, is to even get better numbers on the DEXA scan, gain more muscle, lose more fat. And my goal is to show people that it can be done through fasting. So just FYI. Price Man with a $10 super chat. Price Man, thank you so much for the support as always. Price Man says, holidays will be tough. I only go home once a year and my family loves food. Keep it up, Jerome. Thank you, Price Man 5. But okay, so even as you say this, I want you to understand that sure, holidays might be tough. You go home once a year. Your family loves food. My family loves food. I love food. And at the same time, this is once a year. You should enjoy yourself. You should be able to do something like this, right? Like this should be a happy time for you. When I ask people, "Hey, are you waiting till Monday? Are you just saying whatever to the weekend and eating whatever?" I want you, not you, Price Man 5, but just anyone to understand that it doesn't mean that you can't have these momentous occasions. It doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the holidays. It doesn't mean that you can't eat pumpkin pie and whatever else comes during the holidays, because I just eat a lot of pumpkin pie. But right, even as I say that, look at my refeeds. I have dessert every single refeed. So my last refeed, the last refeed I had, I ate half a pumpkin pie, right? And I'm okay with that. I give myself grace. So for people who are worried about doing something that happens once a year and eating multiple days, there's inherently nothing wrong with that. But the real question for Price Man 5 and for anyone is what happens afterwards? That's the real question, is what do you do after you eat multiple days in a row? What happens after you celebrate the holidays, after you celebrate a birthday weekend, after you celebrate or enjoy a vacation? Right? When I had my 13-day vacation or my 2-week vacation and went to Japan, what did I do? What was the action that preceded that? I got in a 65-hour fast. And then I did another 65-hour fast. And then I'm currently working on a third 65-hour fast. But it's not just the fasting. I then started making sure I'm getting my steps in again. I go to the gym and I lift weights. I make sure I get as much sleep as I can, even though that's something I'm still trying to work on. I'm still doing all of the things after. The real important part is the action that precedes the holidays. The real important part is the action that precedes a vacation. The real important part is the action that precedes a celebratory weekend, whatever that might be. So, Price Man 5, thank you for the $10 donation. Hopefully that's helpful as well. Okay. Tech Over Tech. Hi, Tech Over Tech asks, how do you work out and fast? I want to lift, but I'm worried about fainting. Okay. Real simple, Tech Over Tech. How do I work out and fast? I just do it. So when I initially started doing this, I will say that it wasn't easy. For a lot of us, if right now you're even having trouble going for a walk while you're fasting, don't go for a walk. If you're at the point where you feel so weak and you cannot normally function as a human being, break your fast. I will say that again. For anybody who's watching this, there are so many people who see this and they're like, well, I feel so tired. I feel sluggish. I feel like I'm going to faint. Hard stop right there. For anybody who's starting to feel symptoms this way, number one, make sure you're hydrated. Number two, if you don't take electrolytes and you think that might help you get those symptoms out of the way, take your electrolytes. Number three, break your fast. Break your fast, break your fast, break your fast. Do not put yourself in a situation where you cannot perform as a human being. You cannot perform functions as a human being. I say this to all of you, right? As somebody right now who is 45, stupid ads, 45 hours and 50 minutes fasted, right? Who, let me just share with you, who worked out this morning, who went to the gym and bench pressed and did other chest and tricep exercises, because that's what I did today. Who, if I can share this with you here, because I recently got a Whoop that records my steps and my sleep and my working out. If I can, and I still don't know exactly where to go because I'm still used to this. Where do I put this? Where does this go? Sorry, everyone. I thought I would have been able to do this better, but maybe not. Where are my steps? Why is it so hard to open? I don't know where my steps are. Oh, as someone who is currently, well, right now, I mean, my average says 12,000 steps, but today I did 9,754. And as someone who is 46 or whatever hours fasted and live streaming right now and is acting pretty normal, right? That can do this, that has coached today, that has worked out. It's something that is possible to do, but I didn't get here from the get-go. This took time to get to where I'm at. I built my fasting experience up. I built my fasting muscle up. So Tech Over Tech, when it comes to working out and fasting, my advice to you is if you feel weak, if you feel like you're going to faint, break your fast, refeed, go again. And honestly, the better advice here is after you break your fast and after you eat, that's when you should be working out. That's when you should be lifting weights. And then seeing if you can push a longer fast and see how you feel afterwards. This is not something where if you have never really fasted before, you're going to go do a 100 and something hour fast and then try to go to the gym and lift weights and you've never done this before. I wouldn't recommend it. If you're even having trouble just going for a walk, you shouldn't even be thinking about lifting weights. So I want people to do this in a safe way. I think that's really important. I don't want people thinking that you're just going to tough out a fast, because that's not how it should work. I am at the point where I'm at because I have built this experience, but I have no side effects. When people say, Jerome, I feel weak, Jerome, I have a headache, Jerome, I X, Y, and Z, I have none of those symptoms. I have none of those things. If you don't believe me, look at the consistency of every Sunday night live stream I have been on. I am literally talking for an hour and a half to 2 hours, most of the time fasted, many of the times fasted for more than 90 hours, especially if you've watched my beginning ones. There is no part of me that could not function. I want people to do this in a healthy way. Do not push yourself. Do not put yourself at a point where your health or your safety is in jeopardy. Please do not put your safety in jeopardy. It is important that you refeed if you cannot function like a human being. That is why I ask people this question. If you're fasting, you also need to ask yourself, can I still work for the day? Can I still get up? Can I get off the couch? Can I get off this chair? Can I still work? Can I get on a Zoom call? If the answers to those questions is yes, then yes, you can continue fasting. And it's probably in your head. It's a mental thing that you're dealing with right now. But if you cannot perform basic functions, please break your fast. Drink your water, Take your electrolytes if you think that might be helpful for you. Wait maybe 20, 30 minutes. If that doesn't alleviate the symptoms, break your fast, refeed, and start again. There is no shame in doing that. There should be no guilt, no shame. This is about imperfect consistency. This is about starting and stopping and starting and stopping and being okay with it and accepting imperfection. So thank you for the question, Tech Over Tech. Hopefully that was helpful. Okay. Ultimately, Melissa is recommending, right, supplemental vitamins. There you go. That's helpful as well. So, okay. I think that's it. Those are all the questions at this point. Two things as we continue to wrap up here. You heard me say this earlier today. I'm going to say this like I always do. I want people to remember that the scale that you step on, that number that you look at, do not let that be the be all end all on your journey. No matter what the scale says, it does not hold that type of power over you. It should never hold that type of power over you. Just because the scale is heavier than where you thought it would be, or because it's a lot less than what you had imagined, doesn't make you better or worse as a person. It doesn't value you in that way. The number on the scale does not hold value into the person you are. Do not look at the scale as the be all end all. Remember your non-scale victories. Think about the way the clothes, think about the way you fit in your clothes. Think about your health markers. Think about the consistency that you're doing. Think about the energy you have throughout the day. Think about all of the other positive things that come with this. The scale should not devalue you in that way. The scale should just be a data point, a guide. And honestly, no matter where you are at on your journey, whether you're at average weight, whether you're 50 pounds overweight, 100 pounds overweight, do not let that devalue you. Continue on your journey. Continue to respect yourself, accept yourself, and love yourself for the person you are today. As cliche as that sounds, as corny as that sounds, it means everything. It honestly means everything. Before I go, I want you to understand that you are never alone on your journey. If there's anybody that can prove to you that you're not alone on this journey, think about how long I've been doing this for. 406 days, 58 weeks. Every single Sunday I am here unless I'm on vacation. But otherwise, in the last 58 weeks, I have probably done 55 live streams. I have shown up every single Sunday and shown up for you because I need to be accountable for you, because it's important for me. You are not alone on your journey. You have someone by your side. I am literally here letting you know that we are doing this together. So please do not let those negative thoughts of why me, why is it only me, why am I the only one doing this? I am 45 hours and 58 minutes fasted. You're not alone on this journey. I will be fasting until tomorrow, completing another 65. And then what's happening after I do my 65-hour fast? I'm going to refeed for about 4 to 6 hours. And then what am I going to do after that? I'm going to do another 65-hour fast. And then after that 65-hour fast completes, I'm going to do another 65-hour fast, and then another 65-hour fast, and then another 65-hour fast. So if you think your shit is hard right now, please remember there is somebody who is fasting with you. We are doing this together. Do not lose sight of that. Andre with a $10 super chat. Andre, thank you so much for the support. As always, Andre, it's so nice to see you. Thank you for the continuous support. Always appreciate you. J-Man, had a family function, but I'm here now with the Finally Fasting fam. Andre, it's so nice to see you. Hopefully the family function went well. Hope you're doing well. I am. Thank you so much. Started a 5th 90 hour today. Thank you for the inspiration. You're very welcome, and congrats on a 5th 90 hour. Is that 5 in a row? Are you doing back-to-back 90s right now, Andre? Congratulations. Congrats on your success. Congrats. You'll have to keep us posted on how that's going. Okay. I think that's it for today. Appreciate everyone that's been here. Thank you for your support as always. Appreciate the love, appreciate the donations. I hope you all know that your support helps continue what I'm doing. So anytime you guys support in that way, it helps me continue what I'm doing. It makes me realize I can continue doing this at least most of my time, to have this as an actual like full-time gig. So I appreciate you in that way. So thank you again for the support. Thank you for everyone for being here. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for being honest and transparent with where you're at and what you're doing. I appreciate you so much. I will be back again next Sunday, like always, like clockwork. But yes, you will see more videos from me in between that time. If you are part of the autophagy group, if you're part of the Finally Fasting fam, then you and I will be talking on Wednesday. So hopefully I'll see you there. Otherwise, I think that's it. Keep doing what you're doing. Happy holidays to people that do celebrate it. I don't think I have anything else. So I'm going to wave bye awkwardly, and then I'm going to play the outro music. I'll see you soon. Bye.